paid advertising in particular being the scalable option for many people to grow their business once they're at a point where they want to do it. What the problem is, and what I'm seeing more and more of, is people who are not ready to advertise yet. Advertising should be the last thing you do. And you is being the infinitive, like a company out there. And it just seems like lately there's been lots of conversations about this that we've had with prospective clients, clients that are dealing with other issues within the business. And like, marketing is a component of a business. And for us, it's our entire business, sort of, right? I mean, it's the service that we offer. But even so, for us, we don't actually rely heavily on advertising, especially. In fact, we don't really advertise at all.
Yeah, but more so like paid media.
Right.
We do a very healthy amount of SEO.
We do a lot of SEO. We do a ton of SEO. That's true. Like, it's kind of the default. Well, that's what SEO is, right? It's the default. What am I going to do? I'll do some SEO because it doesn't end.
The term that I like to use for SEO and email is budget neutral. It's a budget neutral marketing tactic.
Ooh,
yeah. I heard one of my clients say that in my day job, and I was like, I'm going to use that forever.
Budget neutral. So it just doesn't cost anything?
Yeah, it doesn't cost. Well, it doesn't cost anything other than labor. So it's budget neutral.
That's fancy. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Budget neutral. I'm going to try saying it. I'm going to mess it up a few times, but maybe I'll just try to say it. You know, when you learn a word and then you try to use it for the first time and you just kind of hope that whoever's listening either doesn't know the word or it just lets you slide because they think, he probably knows more than me, so I'm going to say it. That's how it goes.
I never let it slide. Every time someone says a word I don't know, I'll go, what does that mean?
I can remember learning contingent because it just sounds like it's a cool word. Do you know what contingent is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was in college.
I feel like I might have. Oh, you were in college in this one. There was something that was similar to contingent. Like I used contingency plan in an earlier episode, and you're like, "What is that?"
Yeah. Makes sense.
I can't remember. You were in college.
Yeah. So I was in college and a friend taught me, her name's Sarah. Sarah taught me what contingent was. And for the next 15 minutes, I was like, contingent. And I was like Buddy the Elf and you know, in the movie Elf, when he's sitting in the corner, like Francisco. That was me for 15 minutes, just trying to actually get it into my brain. But anyway,
I like it when you know a word, like you know the word, but then someone uses it in like a different context, and you're like, I like it in that context. And then so like I've been saying, like I do that, and then I say it a lot. So like one word, like lately, the last 3 or so weeks that I've been saying a ton in the business context, or just really any context. And whenever anybody wants autonomy with something, I just say, in order for this to be agnostic. Like it's usually used in like a non secular way, but like I really like using it in a business sense in terms of like we can say we use Google Data Studio or Looker Studio because it's an agnostic reporting tool. It's not really a third party reporting tool. It's Google. I mean, technically it is, but like
yeah. I follow. Okay.
Yeah. Or WordPress is basically an agnostic CMS. Well, it's open source, which is you can use it kind of interchangeably, but I like that.
Okay. I feel in general, I try not to use big words because I hate when jargon makes people like feel excluded. Like they don't know what the words are. So then they feel like they're not in the club. So I try to base on who I'm talking to, or when I know that there's just not a better word, like it's the most appropriate word for the situation, but when possible.
I just used non-secularly and I felt powerful, but I meant just non-religiously or religiously. People usually use it. That's like the non-fiction fiction thing, right? Like non-secular means religious and then secular means not religious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So when you are talking about advertising and it should be the last thing that you do, I feel like I don't even know where I got cut off or not cut off, where I started trailing off into the other parts. But we were talking to clients and it's been a topic and people have been discussing it a lot, things around it lately. And because Jake, you said you've seen a trend too, of more and more people lately coming into the marketing space, and it is a business by itself. Running a marketing agency is its own business with marketing as the service, and paid advertising in particular being the scalable option for many people to grow their business once they're at a point where they want to do it. What the problem is, and what I'm seeing more and more of, is people who are not ready to advertise yet. They are not, in many ways, mentally, right? They aren't in a position with the business where they understand how this is going to impact their business, and how they can scale it up, and then the realistic limitations of that too, right? Everybody seems to think that Google is limitless, right? It's working. Here's more money. Please keep more and more leads coming through. Well, there's a cap. Don't listen to Google. Google won't tell you that. They'll say you can always keep spending more, but there is a realistic limitation where you can't keep going past that. But so if you don't have everything else sorted out within the business, if all you do is pour gas on the fire of your business that isn't prepared, you're just going to make a really big fire. And for people who don't know any other way of growing a business, I guess that's not the worst thing you can do, because maybe after you clean up, you were bigger than what you were before. But it's a lot of collateral damage that's just not necessary and needed. That's a word, collateral damage. There we go.
Mm-hmm. That was, I think that was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think like there are two different types of businesses, or people in their stage of business. There is the established business, which I think you are referencing more so in references to our clients, where they're established. They make probably $200,000, $300,000 a year, and they want to turn on advertising, but they're not ready to take on the amount of leads that they can get when they actually have an effective advertising source. Like they hire an agency that's actually worth their weight, and then suddenly, like within 3 months, they're shutting down their ad services because they don't have the labor to sustain the lead flow.
Right.
And
it's
that's
every
not
time, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's
like
a very frustrating and dumb example and reason for losing a client is because they weren't prepared for the success that you gave them.
No, it's from an agency standpoint, it's a kind of a milestone when your services can deliver that, because not a lot of people, we talked about this in our last episode, but not a lot of people are confident in their abilities to be able to provide a service like that, especially if they don't have a track record. But it's also from a standpoint of like, they're not just like using your services, they're doing other things too. They're posting in their own Facebook groups, they're getting their own door hangers, their own flyers, they're doing their own thing as well. And when they're not set up to take those leads in, they have to shut marketing services down, which is fine. It's bittersweet, as we've kind of put it before. Good for them. On the other side of that, you have kind of the agency owners who are just starting out and they need to find their first initial clients. So typically they'll turn to paid ads or like setters and closers as kind of like their first paid channel to acquire their clients, because it's faster, right? Nobody wants to hear, everybody wants to hear it, but nobody wants to actually do it, which was my story when I first started, which was, and we say we started in 2019, which is true, but I started in 2017. In July of 2017. Mm-hmm. And I went 6 months with no client. I got one client. They lasted 2 months. And then it was 10 months before the next client. And that was actually when you came on board. Now we're hitting 2019. So I think in 2018, I had like a total of, I don't know, 5 sales maybe. Or not 5 sales, $5,000 total. And so if you split that out by month, that's not even $500 a month. It doesn't even pay my rent. And just from that one client, so there was like the onboarding, and then there was the monthly. But then I got inside the box marketing too. That was more of like a friendly client that stayed with us, and it wasn't a lot, but there's like a website builder too in there that kind of helped me, but I almost don't even think it was $5,000. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways.
So, so in that instance, you have the marketing people who are just getting started out, primarily people that are listening to us right now, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
and
primarily
how it applies here is that, like, assuming that you're offering a suite of services, not just advertising. Not saying that it's bad, but that is a pretty difficult thing to do, is to purely focus on that and not even offer the other options, right? That's an extremely special. I'm thinking about it's the equivalent in SEO as like I own a private blog network and rent out, links as a monthly service or something like that. The amount of people who are going to be interested in that, it's an extremely niche crowd, right? Whereas if you're offering email services, SEO services, paid advertising of different, not just one channel, different channels, that sort of thing. When you're offering something like that, you do have to have a decent understanding of them. So if you are just starting out, I think one of the dumbest things you can do is just go sink a ton of money into advertising, trying to acquire clients that if that was your path and you can't even do the SEO, you can't even get the clients organically, what are you going to do for them when you do get them?
I love that you're bringing up this point, because I always say this too, like, especially if you're an SEO agency, like, if you honestly can't get your own SEO clients, you have a problem. And you can, so the common argument that I get back is, well, what am I going to rank for? Marketing services? Like, I'm going to try to rank against like Ahrefs or like, those big companies. No, like, that's the whole point of niching down. When I actually first started Evergrow, I didn't think that I was going to rank or get inquiries from people searching for landscaping marketing company or lawn care marketing company. I didn't even have the keyword data to back it up, because I wasn't spending anything in Google Ads, and therefore the monthly search volume for those keywords, it said like 10 to 100. Great. Like, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. And then now we get a little bit more granular keyword data, except we don't even have to look at Keyword Planner for our own search terms anymore, because we have so much Google Search Console data that we can go back to and actually see better details. And so you'd be actually very surprised at how many people search for niche marketing agencies that aren't broad, that know their industry. They want to know that you're not going to use general terminology, or it's not going to take 6 months just for you to learn how to market that.
Mm-hmm. That's something that you need to know and that you can't just skip. You don't get to just buy. There's no get out of jail. You can't just buy your way past that. And if you do, you're just going to end up back where you started. That's what I think. That's how I feel.
I think some of the first things you can do when you're first starting out to get clients is learn a very foundational level of SEO. So even if you don't have SEO experience, and then what you're trying to sell is social media marketing, learning some SEO just to rank in your niche would be helpful. And then also like being featured in industry podcasts and magazines, kind of like we were, but then just engaging with the industry groups and forums in general. We've talked about that plenty of times, because one argument that I see for people who aren't SEO agencies or don't have SEO experience, like let's say they want to offer paid media, or like a paid social, is they don't have if they want to acquire clients the way that we say, you should acquire clients based on the services you're delivering, that means they have to put money into social ads. And in some instances that might be what you have to do because you chose to start this. In other instances, I would highly advise to learn a foundational level of SEO in order to gain your first clients. You can also do outreach. I don't like doing outreach. We don't do outreach at all, but you can. Who just messaged us? I have my notification blocker set to the wrong time because we switched our podcast recording time to the morning. Oh, it was Lisette. Oh, she didn't message you. She messaged me.
Good.
Oh, there it goes again. Let me mute her. Turn off notifications. All right. Turn off notifications all. Let's see, notifications off. Save. And then let's go to my groups. Oh gosh.
So you brought up a good point. I want to say a couple things. One, I didn't have a ton I wanted to say about this other than exactly what I said, which is I have a lot more now, which is good because you brought up some really important points I want to hit on. But I'm going to say it very clearly and plainly again, because I just want to make sure that people understand across the board, any business, this business, your clients' businesses, all those things, putting money into advertising to grow the business is moderately helpful. It's mildly helpful in the beginning compared to once you're 100% prepared to scale and then pouring gas on the fire. That kicks ass. And that's amazing. And I think that's what you should do. And I think that's what grown-ups do. That's my feelings. And I'll fight about it. So if you want to fight, let's go. Now in this, you talked about if you're offering paid ads as a service, right? I think even in that case too, that it's still beneficial to not go straight to learning, to not go immediately into ads, because again, you're wasting lots of money. There's going to be lots of collateral damage. So a history of people I rarely talk about now at this point, because I just don't, I'm so far. I think that there might be some listeners who, if you're familiar with this, cool. Like this is good stuff to know. And it's very good information. But it's also dangerous to keep sticking around in here because the general crowd that it listens to all this stuff, I think many of them rarely ever get a business totally off the ground. And it's because they have shiny objects and they keep jumping from thing to thing. So you have affiliate marketing, which is huge. It has been, it will be, it's always going to be a thing. You can split affiliate marketing into two groups. You have free traffic, SEO, social, whatever you want to call it, right? And the ways that you can do it cover a lot, right? Everything from white hat clean sites to malware, right? Those are options. Now, there's that sort of SEO, and that's extremely crowded, generally speaking. I think not as much now because people have moved away from affiliate marketing with the war on cookies and cookie tracking, but it's still more crowded than, say, paid affiliate marketing. So not a ton of people not only do paid affiliate marketing, but can afford to stick around. And I never got deep into paid affiliate marketing because once I started learning all the things that you need to do with paid affiliate marketing anyway, such as how do you build a fast loading website or landing page? How do you do basic SEO so you are getting free traffic anyway, even if you are buying your traffic? Don't just exclude free traffic. If people are going to come to you. What's the difference between
paid affiliate marketing and just regular affiliate marketing?
So yeah, if you're just doing SEO affiliate marketing, so like a niche site, I don't know if people still do this. I assume that they do. It's not a bad idea.
A paid medium versus SEO.
Right. So like a traditional niche site is you find a niche, you go after ranking in that niche, and then if it's an affiliate site, then you have affiliate links and stuff, and then you sell from there, right? Paid, it's a completely different mindset. A lot of guys build one landing page, they go join an affiliate network, they find a good offer, and then it's a numbers game. I want to buy traffic. At what rate is this converting? Can I get this so that there's a successful enough margin? And then once it's successful, pour money into it and see how much I can crank back out. You can make a lot of money. I think it's a little bit like maybe like poker. I don't want to say gambling because it's not. It's kind
of like the drop shipping model.
Oh yeah. Well, so that's exactly where I was going next. Is people, once it started getting harder in both of those places, once the margins got tighter, once, cookies were, the war on cookies, advertising mediums kept getting more and more expensive. People went to drop shipping, right? Not even full e-commerce, just drop shipping. So how can I buy stuff? How can I set up? What is it? I can't remember it, the software, but it'll automatically buy and ship it from AliExpress. I'll skim 10% off the top. It'll take me $1 million to make 100K, but cool. That was kind of the next thing. And then you went to crypto. Everybody loved crypto because it was yet another, if you're just there early, extremely lucrative way to make money. But, there were no crypto ads at the Super Bowl last year, this year. There's a reason for that. So I think now people are coming back to the, crap, I got to be a grown up and do a legitimate business and marketing, and realizing that they don't know how. And if you just go straight to, if I knew paid affiliate marketing, or if I'm used to buying traffic, then I'll do that to get off the ground. You're still, I think, not in the mental space that you need to be you're no longer just chasing, how can I make money? There's a big difference between making money and running a business or having an operation. And the same thing with selling e-commerce, like on Amazon or something. And I mean this in the nicest of ways, but I've known people who have mistakenly thought that they were running a business when they were selling a successful product. Okay. If you have one product that you were lucky with and were able to get successfully off the ground and start selling, get to work, right?
Yeah.
Start moving horizontally. How can you solidify this? What other things can you start building a brand? How can I get additional products to, really, really solidify this thing in case that one tanks, or, and not just different products. How do you get into patents? How do you get into everything? How do you go legit? How do you,
So I was explaining a concept to Marcus the other day in our one-on-one, and I was like, because it's been, I think we started 4 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, on some of these coaching things. And I refused to let him get a client first. I was like, no, you need to learn all of this stuff first. You need to learn Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Google Ads, everything that you're going to do to execute your services, and then familiarize yourself with the actual marketing aspect of it. You can join some groups just to kind of engage, just do some, basic level stuff. But you can, if you build, so the whole goal is to grow taller, get higher. And you do that with blocks. If you start with a very small base, let's just say you have 2 blocks and you start piling up, eventually that tower is going to topple over and die a lot sooner than if you build your foundation super wide with opportunity. And what I mean by that is Cody and I spent a lot of time building our just kind of inbound foundation of getting leads. We already had the experience. So a lot of that foundation was already there. We already knew how to do SEO. We already knew how to do Google Ads. We were learning how to build websites. And then we started stacking blocks on that. After all, from a very wide foundation, we divided our expenses, our incoming revenue, into separate accounts based on the profit first system, which we can talk about in a different episode. That was another building block. We're at a point right now where our tower is still not complete and still not very tall, but we've stopped putting blocks on it and started building outward rather than up, because in order for us to build to this hypothetical distance in the sky, we realized that we needed a stronger foundation. And so we're focusing on that, and we could grow Cody and I, you and I could make $200,000 next year, each as our income, but it'll die there. It'll end. And I have much higher ambitions than that. So when we first started out with our profit first system, we were taking a hypothetical huge pay cut, because instead of 90% of the revenue hitting profit and hitting our account, or hitting our bank accounts, we were only taking like 20% of it because the rest of it was going into payroll, capital expenses, marketing, savings, whatever else we had. But that division of it put it in the business and not in our pockets. And we had to have the foresight to say like, but this is better for the future. And in order for us to actually grow and acquire the clients that we want to have, we need to set up all this stuff first.
Mm-hmm. I just pulled it up while you were talking because I wanted to share this too. You said it before. We've never said exactly. For the longest time, we spent zero on advertising for our business, like literally none. It took us how many years? We started 2019 together. I'm checking Google Ads. It was like right at the turn of 2023. So this year, like right before. So 4 years. Is that right?
Yeah. 4. Mm-hmm.
And we spent $125 on paid traffic.
That was more for like funsies.
Yeah, it was to learn.
We did 2 YouTube videos. He did one just about the business, and then I did one for me. And we wanted to see who got more engagement interaction. And it was twofold, right? Because I think most people engaged with yours, but I think people watched mine longer, which is weird. Yep. But they're probably just looking at my background.
More interesting.
Yeah, but nothing came of it. And I still tell people like we don't spend money on advertising because I don't even like count that. So it was just like for fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking of advertising, I got a sidebar. I got an email just now that is blowing my mind right now. So we got our carpet cleaned a couple of days ago or like last week, and just outside my door here, the hallway, the carpet is like grimy. Like I put my hands on it and it's like, ugh, it feels kind of weird. And I think it's because there's not really good airflow in the basement. So I don't, you have to have like nice fans to dry that. And so I was on Home Depot and I was like, I'm going to get my carpet cleaned again down here. But I need to make sure I have good fans before I do that. So I was on Home Depot looking at some like industrial blowing fans or like fan dryers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just got an email from Capital One Shopping that said, thanks to your recent purchases, you can get bonus rewards on items like $600 CFM 3-speed multi-purpose mini mighty air mover utility blower fan with power outlets. First of all, that's the longest product name I've ever heard in my life.
Mini mighty air.
Right. Yeah, 600 CFM 3-speed multi-purpose mini mighty air mover utility blower fan with power outlets.
That sounds way cooler than my pillow.
Which is the actual fan that I was looking at. So, and then like in there, it says save more with these exclusive offers, earn 5%, activate offer. And it has a picture of the fan that I was looking at yesterday. Okay. So why this is mind blowing to me is because I was on Home Depot's website looking at this, and Capital One, my bank, sent me this. So Capital One knows that I was on the Home Depot website looking at this. The Capital One card that I have and that purchase that I have is not tied to my Home Depot account. In my day job, I work in customer data platforms or CDPs. So like this email would 100% make sense if it came from Home Depot, because Home Depot has my cookie and they also have my email. So if they can associate the two, they can assume that the anonymous user browsing on their site, they can tie that cookie to or the cookie, but the IP address and everything to my email user profile, and then engage in an email campaign. That's what I do in my day job. Consult with companies to do this. But this coming from Capital One is blowing my mind. And I don't know, like there's got to be some kind of partnership there, because I don't know how they do it.
They're selling data for sure. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, see, you already know.
I mean, that makes sense, right? I mean, if you've spent any time within Basis, right, or Centro is now Basis, right? That was a while ago. Mm-hmm. Basis DSP, demand side platform. That's all that they do. They just sell this sort of information so that you can advertise to it. So yeah, the big companies are definitely just going more directly as opposed to through those sorts of partnerships, especially through like with the email. That's a little more complicated than just showing a display ad or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
I hope this much was again helpful for people. I feel like so we mentioned one bad review. We got 2 now, and I think it's because I told people that they're paying for their friends, and I think I hurt their feelings. I could be wrong, but I think it's because in the mastermind I was saying that's weird, guys, and I stand by it. Don't care. I'm still going to say that's a little strange. And
to be
I mean
fair,
it in the
though,
nicest ways.
We asked if people disagreed with us,
Mm-hmm.
and what we hoped was for some discourse, like discussion on it, like on the website or through email. But no, these guys were like, "Nah, screw you, 1-star review." I'm like, okay, I guess that's if you want to voice your opinion, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, we got a little punchy with that episode. We still, at some point, we still stand by, finding masterminds weird. But honestly, if you have an issue, like, let us know.
We're talking about.
We'll bring you on.
That'd be cool. Yeah, we're talking about our experiences and what we know and what we've seen and what's worked for us and those sorts of things. I mean, if you're one of those people who has done it and seen a lot of value in it, it'd be great to talk to you and explain why. Tell us what the benefits are and why it's worth it. But yeah. I was still really punchy in this one, so I was trying to be like, be less punchy, Cody. Come on, be more helpful.
I also get punchy in like Facebook groups, and like the podcast link was like the main link in my profile, and so I was like, I feel like some people are just like, screw this guy, he's got a podcast, and we'll leave him a bad review. But I don't know. Cody and I kind of talked about it. I mean, we're little pansies. Yeah, it hurt our feelings, but it's okay. At some point, like we have to realize that some people are not going to enjoy the podcast, and then some people, hopefully the majority of you do, and we'll try not to take it personally. But we're human. I mean, what am I supposed to say? Like, I don't care what people's opinions of me are. I do care. I don't care if some people I don't care.
Cool.
But I think that's all I had. I just, all we had, because this is your episode. So I think it's just really important to reiterate that if you're not set up internally to accept a lot of the clients, you're going to fall into the trap of what our clients are getting, which is, turning work down, or because maybe you're first starting, you're going to overcommit yourself. And then that's not a good look. So make sure you try to get your first clients organically. To get to a point, and then like actually build your processes before you start advertising and getting out there and wasting money. Yeah,
I think that sounds much nicer. And maybe I should have mentioned the reason why we're saying this is because it's a bad place to put yourself when you're overloaded with work and you're not sure how to handle it, and it's preventable. So that's what we're trying to prevent. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
So that's all I got to say about that.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to this one. We'll see you next time.
See ya.